Today I have a book review for you, and it is of the book Looking for Alaska by John Green. If I could sum this book up in one word, it would be confusing, because it made me very, very confused. But I shall read you the blurb. So at the top here it has probably my favourite quote from the whole entire book, which also is like the most popular one. The quote is, "If people will rain, I was drizzle and she was a hurricane." Which is just like, it's such a good quote. I love it. It melts my heart a little bit. So the blurb says, Miles Holter's whole life has been one big non-event until he meets Alaska Young. Gorgeous, clever, and undoubtedly screwed up, Alaska draws Miles into her reckless world, irrevocably steals his heart. For Miles, nothing can ever be the same again. And then at the bottom it says, Looking for Alaska is the award-winning debut that brilliantly captures the exquisite, painful joy of living and loving. Poignant, funny, and heartbreaking, this novel will stay with you forever. And for me, it will stay with me forever because it made me so damn confused. I still do not quite understand this book, which is odd. Long story short, this book is about a boy, Miles, who goes away to boarding school to find the great Paps. He sort of just felt, until then, his life wasn't really going anywhere, and his dad went to this boarding school, so he was like, I want to go to boarding school. And he goes there kind of in search of something, and he's not sure what it is, and then he realises it's Alaska. All the chapters at the beginning, oh, my bookmark is still in the page, is all leading up to, it says like 109 days before, and then it gets to event, and then it changes to after, which I think is quite fun because you know that it's leading up to something, and all those days before get shorter and shorter and shorter until it's like 4 days before, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm so close, what is it? And it was a big twist. I didn't expect it, I didn't see it coming. I kind of gathered, like I kind of knew like what it was going to be, like I sort of knew part of it, but then the big thing and then twist, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, which is not something I was expecting from this book. I just kind of thought it was going to be like a little love story, which it is, but it's much more than that, which I think is brilliant. If you have stuck around on my channel for a rather long time, you will know that I've had a little bit of struggle with John Green's books. And it's not because his books aren't good, it's because they just use big words. Sometimes I feel like a rather dumb person, and it's just because I don't understand big words. There are a lot of big words that I just don't know the meanings to, and so when I'm reading a book and I can't read the word, and then I don't know what it means, I get rather confused, and I just like to be able to read a book without having to like stop and Google meanings of words, because it just gets a bit tiring, and that's what I struggled with. But I read Paper Towns and I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the story, and so yes, my friend was on at me to read Looking for Alaska, and I'm glad I did because I did really enjoy it, and it wasn't as like cumbersome as other books or other ones of John Green's I've tried to read. So I highly enjoyed this one a lot. To begin with, when I was reading this, I found it quite slow, and I don't know whether that was because I just wasn't picking it up quite a lot, so I wasn't getting very far into the book, so it wasn't quite grabbing me. But I think when I realised that each chapter was counting down to something, it made me sort of speed up a bit, as if to think, come on Charlie, like there's something coming. But again, that also could just be the fact that I only ever read it on the bus. Miles's character gets nicknamed Pudge in the whole book, and they always refer to him as Pudge, and not gonna lie, quite often I forgot that his name was actually Miles. And Pudge's character was just, like, I really enjoyed his character a lot. His character was quite relatable in a way. I think that's probably because he was just this kind of like shy, awkward person and I kind of quite relate to that. But I also found him very, very annoying. I think it's because he pined so much after Alaska that I was just like, come on, stop. Alaska's character I found even more annoying and rather frustrating. She was a big mystery. Her whole character, she still is a mystery. Yeah, so oddly I wasn't a huge fan of the two main characters, but I enjoyed their story in an odd way. The Colonel? was my favourite character. He was just hilarious, and everything he did you were just like, huh? I loved it a lot. I found it really interesting that he based quite a bit of like Pudge on himself, his sort of obsession with famous last words, that the whole boarding school thing links to John because John went to a boarding school, and Culver Creek, which is the boarding school in the book, is based off his boarding school, and he made like a video where he went back and like was showing different things about like this was the lake, and that's what he based the lake off in the book, was that real place. And I just found that really, really cool that it linked so well, that it's based off his time at boarding school but in a fictional way. I really hope you enjoyed this video and enjoy looking for Alaska, and I will see you in a new video the day after tomorrow. Bye!